We have Councillor Kevin Klein Skyping in this morning. Good morning, Councillor. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So what are you hearing from people who live in your ward?
Well, it's nothing new that I'm hearing, but the concern for crime continues to grow, and the number of crimes, I think, not only in the community that I serve, but across the city, is growing at a pace that we can no longer sit back and do nothing about. Violent crime continues to grow in our city than it has over the last 7 years consistently. We're seeing murders in our city, 87 in 24 months. These are numbers that are impacting and could have an incredible negative impact on the growth of our city in the years to come, and we need to do something about it.
Councillor Klein, you said citywide, not to fearmonger, but is it important to recognize that crime does happen in every part of the city?
Yeah, it's not to fearmonger. It is a problem, and you can't fix a problem until you admit you have it. You can't fix it until you address it. And once you've admitted to it, you can find solutions and you can work on solutions. So yes, there is crime throughout the entire city. I know I'm hearing about it in every corner. I'm talking to residents that are not in my ward that will call and talk about crime concerns with me. So I understand that, and it is something that we cannot continue to ignore. And this council has done that for far too long. We cannot ignore it and hope that it goes away.
Let's talk solutions then. In your opinion, Councillor, how should we begin to address the crime happening in the city?
Well, yesterday when I put out a statement, I said I would call on the Winnipeg Police Service to use all their available resources to execute any outstanding warrants for individuals that we have walking the streets of Winnipeg. Let's deal with that. I also said that I would like to see them making any arrest and all arrests associated with guns or illegal firearms, and to ramp up the pressure on the street gangs and organized crime here in our city. And a lot of that comes from talking to other jurisdictions. It comes from talking to members of the police service. It also comes from talking to, and it was some time ago that I had the pleasure of speaking with Professor Gino DeStasio at the University of Winnipeg, who everyone knows quite well, and has done a paper on this. And we talked about how you have to put the pressure on the top 100 criminals in your city. You have to let them know that you're there, follow them around, apply that pressure. At the same time, it's not just about dealing with the criminals. I'm working on something to bring to City Hall that will say we need to put money immediately into programming for kids, because we don't have enough programming in a lot of the communities in our city, and a lot of families don't have the means, and kids have no other choice. They're being recruited into these gangs because that's the only thing they have in their life. We need to give them things to do. We need to create opportunities for them, to give them a different choice, to change that pattern. So it's a solution is really twofold.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We only have about 30 seconds left here, but quickly before we let you go, you talk programming. Is it a reality that this pandemic has impacted many things, including access to service?
I think the pandemic has created a crime pandemic. I think it's created a pandemic of all sorts. So yes, I think that's part of it.
That is City Councillor Kevin Klein joining us this morning. Councillor Klein, thank you so much for making time for us. We really appreciate this.
Well, thank you very much for making this a topic to discuss. I appreciate that, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, take care. We're going to take a little break here on Global News Morning. Stay with us. Plenty ahead, including your local news, weather, and traffic. It is 7:20.